These works are from a body of work called That's Our Shadow on the Moon, where I like to look at shadows and look at light and look at objects, how objects reflect or create the shadow. And I guess that's basically the premise of my practice, is looking at light and looking at shadows and concentrating about looking and seeing and what we're seeing, then deciphering from that how something is perhaps constructed. The tintypes, the tintype process is an 1850s process. It's a wet plate process where you actually take all of the materials, pour the collodion onto the surface of a plate, sensitize that in silver nitrate, and then make an exposure. I've adapted this to a photogram process, and you generally have to work fairly quickly because after the collodion dries, it's considered a dead plate. So the energy has to sort of, and the construction has to sort of all take place fairly quickly to make sure that you get the image. I've used an orange substrate, which is how I've introduced colour to the process of tintypes, and that comes from a larger body of work also. The slippery image process is again adapting an older process, the daguerreotype, with a photogram process, layering up onto the surface and sensitizing, never knowing really what the materials and the shadows and the light will actually do until it's revealed in its fixed image and fixed state. Both processes are fairly precarious in terms that at any point you could lose the image. So with a tintype, you have to then varnish an image, and all the chemistry has to be accurate and harmonious together. Otherwise, you can pour the resin across the surface, and it will just dissolve the image, and you can see it disappearing, which is always very heartbreaking. These works fit within my practice. I have a very expanded approach to photography. I think of the photograph as a piece of elastic. The technology that is photography can be stretched, and so light sensitivity has a point. It has a white point and a black shadow point, but in between those, that manipulation can be stretched out like a piece of elastic. And I kind of think that with each body of work that I'm doing or have done, I'm able to get a little bit more stretch within either a colour range or a shadow or a material, or bring some other aspect of revealing the materiality, not only from, say, the subjects that are creating, or the objects that are creating a shadow, but also from the actual material, say a collodion or the silver and the silver nitrate, just sort of bringing everything further out and revealing that. I work across anything that's light sensitive, essentially from colour photography in a dark black space to the daguerreotype, which is quite revealing in terms that the exposing is all done in daylight, and the processing is done in daylight, and it's not revealed until you take all of the material away that you can then see potentially what you have left. Also a daguerreotype, you're looking at both a positive and a negative in a daguerreotype, so you have to reveal the image by projecting black into the surface of the silver. This way you can't, it's not easily seen, which is hence why I think of them as slippery images. They move quickly away from your sight, and it's a lovely thing to latch onto that and capture it, both in the surface, but then to be able to glimpse it before it disappears and you move the image again. So